Today on Rock the Park,
it's pungent.
We're uncovering a hidden gem.
Oh, I love volcanoes. I love volcanoes. This is crazy.
With surprises around every bend.
Something's just not adding up here. Oh.
And when the going gets tough,
this is some tall stuff.
the tough starts boiling.
I am absolutely blown away. It's about to get epic.
I'm Jack Stewart. And I'm Colton Smith. We've been buddies for years, and we love exploring the national parks.
It's all about packing up a car and just doing it, just hitting the road.
Our goal is to visit every national park in this country.
And when you go off the beaten path like we do,
there's no telling what will happen next.
Get set to rock the park.
We're high up on the slopes of the largest plug dome volcano in the world. This mountain was built up by volcanic eruptions, and that volcano is still active today.
The evidence is all around us. We're talking boiling hot springs.
It's definitely the weirdest looking lake that I've ever seen.
Steaming fumaroles and bubbling mud pots.
They're smelly. They're really smelly.
And on this trip, we're gonna see them all. This is Lassen Volcanic National Park.
This is a brand new park for us.
Yeah, it's right up in Northern California, and it's got the most geothermal features west of Yellowstone.
Lassen Volcanic National Park is at the southern tip of the Cascade Mountain Range, a 700-mile stretch of nearly 20 major volcanoes. Of those, there were only 2 major eruptions in the last century, Mount St. Helens in 1980 and Lassen back in 1915. When it blew, molten lava and volcanic ash destroyed and reshaped the land that would eventually become this park.
Now, to start off our trip, we thought we'd do something a little different. We're going geocaching.
Geocaching is basically a big scavenger hunt.
We're searching the park for hidden caches, which in this case contain facts about the park's history.
The only real information we're given is a bunch of GPS coordinates.
There's 11 geocaches throughout the park, but if you get over half of them, you get a prize, a carabiner.
All right, so what are we looking at for this first one?
We're closing in.
How close?
17 miles.
The problem? It's 17 miles outside of the park. Something is not adding up here.
Oh. We gotta pull over and make sure that we've got this GPS set to the right format.
Got it. 0.85 miles away. We need to head south. Yep, going the right way. We'll get there. Don't worry, old Colton's got you.
What's that saying?
Arriving at coordinates.
Ooh, it's at the sign. It's at the sign.
How did we miss that?
All right, I see it. You see it?
Yep. Right there. There you go.
In 1933, the park began construction of new facilities to serve its increasing visitor population. In the midst of the Great Depression, the Civilian Conservation Corps, otherwise known as the
CCC,
made numerous improvements to the park, including construction of these monuments.
The CCC has been around for more than 80 years. It was established to relieve unemployment during the Great Depression.
Next one.
How far away are we from the next one?
Exactly 1 mile north.
I have a feeling it's the visitor center.
You might be right.
We'll see.
We jump back in the car and head up to the visitor center.
This way. We're walking to the left, then we're walking to the right. We get on a trail. We're not finding anything.
I mean, there's so many different places this thing could be.
I don't think it's that way.
According to the GPS, we're in the right place, but we're not seeing anything. Until...
Ah, yes!
The blank once occupied the area to your left. Built in 1966, the simple A-frame building was at the center of the Lassen Park ski area. Check it out.
The Lassen Chalet.
Okay.
The Lassen ski area closed in the mid-90s due to competition from nearby ski parks. The chalet was torn down a decade later.
Finally, we've got this down and we are just raking in the geocaches. Yes, I got one.
It's a team effort.
Well, it is, but I wanted to spot one first. 1, 2, 3.
We've got 5 of these geocaches in the bag. One more, and those carabiners are ours.
Not only are we learning a little about the park, but we're getting a good look at this incredible landscape.
0.3 miles, wow. Oh, that must be Lassen Peak. That is. Oh man, can't believe we're gonna be going up that thing.
Lassen Peak dominates the park. Rising to 10,457 feet, it's one of the largest lava domes in the world. The dome is formed when lava is too thick or slow moving and the hot liquid accumulates around the volcano's vent.
Another mile down the road, we're searching for a last question.
This is it. Yes! All right!
All right, what are we looking for here?
In the 1860s, Blank lived at Kings Creek Meadows running horses and mules with his wife and young son. Creek and Meadows are named after him. Who is Blank?
James King.
One word, victory. Yeah, baby, we did it.
We've still got plenty of daylight, so we're meeting up with volcanologist Rachel Teasdale. She's taking us up to one of the most ominous sounding places we've ever been, Bumpus Hell.
Bumpus Hell is the most active hydrothermal area in the park and also in all of the Cascades.
Although the activity in Bumpus Hell is related to Lassen Volcano, it's actually located in the caldera of another volcano that is long gone, Mount Tehama.
Mount Tehama is what used to be a massive stratovolcano.
A stratovolcano is a steep, conical volcano built up of many layers of lava, debris flows, and ash. They're the most common type of volcanoes and the deadliest. Mount Tehama's eruption 600,000 years ago was 50 times more powerful than Mount St. Helens' devastating eruption.
This is not just like a big volcano, that's enormous. We'd be inside of it right now, is what you're telling me.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. It was probably like 3,000 feet of rock on top of us if we were here when it was around.
Oh my gosh.
So, it was a massive volcano.
Mount Tehama built up some of the mountains around us, but most remaining evidence of the volcano was carried away by glaciers, except for something we're about to witness for ourselves.
Wow, I cannot believe this.
We're in Lassen Volcanic National Park in Northern California, about to step foot into something called Bumpus Hell.
Wow. I cannot believe this. If you blindfolded me and dropped me off here, I would think I was in Yellowstone.
Oh, hands down. The amount of volcanic activity here is incredible.
You've got mud pots bubbling away, making the weirdest gurgling sounds, steam hissing out of every crack, and then all these crazy colors from volcanic minerals that have seeped out. It's like the land is alive.
You guys are in the heart of the volcano.
Yeah,
right? This is the heart of Mount Tehama.
I am absolutely blown away. What's amazing about this is you can obviously smell the sulfur.
Yeah.
You've got that bright blue pool down there, and then you can just see the steam shooting up from the ground.
Right.
It's just that classic geothermal vibe.
Yeah.
Pungent.
The fumaroles, or steam vents, are the most intense. Groundwater and volcanic gas that has been superheated by the molten rock just 3 miles below our feet is just exploding into the air.
The big boiler is the most active, and that's where we measure the hottest temperatures.
A scalding 300 plus degrees to be exact.
You can taste the sulfuric acid, can't you?
Yes, you can.
Up to 30 feet of snow falls on Bumpus Hell in the winter, and a lot of water seeps into these super hot cracks in the ground. New pools and fissures are always forming beneath the crust, so it's critical to stay on the park's boardwalk.
Without the boardwalk, they couldn't let visitors come here. It would just be too dangerous. You could sink through any of this clay. It's really slippery.
And if I heard the story right, that's how this spot got its name. Is that correct?
That's true, yeah. A guy called Bumpus stepped through and got burned, and when he got back, somebody asked him where he'd been, and he said, hell.
There are plenty of other hydrothermal surprises to be found here in the park, if you know where to look. And Rachel points us in the right direction, to the Warner Valley area.
As soon as we set foot on the trail, I'm overcome with the scent of evergreen trees.
Most of the park's wildlife lives in and amongst these trees, like the pine or American marten. These little guys spend most of their time hunting chipmunks and squirrels.
So right now, we're on the Pacific Crest Trail, which is a super long distance hiking trail that goes from Mexico all the way up to Canada.
When it's all said and done, the PCT
is 2,650 miles. And here in Northern California, it's just about the halfway point.
It is a dream of mine to one day hike the entire Pacific Crest Trail.
Well, we'll get a little sliver of it today.
Yep, exactly. All of a sudden, we start to smell rotten eggs. We gotta be getting close to this Boiling Springs Lake. Whoa. Oh, wow, crazy.
Oh, that's steaming. Don't get too close.
No, I do not want to get too close.
This lake is called Boiling Springs because it is in fact very hot. There are steam vents underneath this lake that keep it around 125 degrees all year round. The only living things in the lake are bacteria and heat-loving microbes.
It's definitely the weirdest looking lake that I've ever seen because it's got this bright, almost greenish color, and you can see steam coming up from it. You can smell the sulfur.
Oh man, whew. Yeah, I just got a big whiff.
I like the smell of sulfur. For me, it brings me back to my first trip ever to Yellowstone, which is what got me into the national parks in the first place. So whenever I smell sulfur like this, it's that nice nostalgic feeling of being out in the parks.
As we're walking along, we glance over and realize that we've got a couple of friends who are right next to us.
We've spotted some deer. Now we've got a couple over here who are eating, and then we've got one way back there that's just like resting, taking a nap or something.
And they clearly see us. I mean, we're not far away from them. They're right off of the trail, and they're quite unfazed. These are mule deer, which get their name from their large angled ears. They don't have a lot of predators here in Lassen and can afford to be a bit more chill than their skittish whitetail cousins.
That's cool. Should we leave them to their lunch and nap?
As we continue walking, we start to hear a strange roaring sound.
Whoa! We come around the corner and there's Terminal Geyser just shooting steam up into the air.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man. That's massive.
That is much bigger than I thought it would be. Now, despite its name, Terminal Geyser is not actually a geyser. It may look like there's water spouting out of the ground, but it's only steam, which makes this a fumarole.
It's crazy how you can just hear the rush of the steam that's being poured out from underground.
Oh, wow.
Oh, we got deer
up behind them.
Yeah, they're a little closer than I'd like to be to that thing.
Well, certainly, yeah. They're a little more agile than we are. The deer can get as close as they want, but we're gonna stay right here at a safe distance, not only to protect ourselves, but also to practice the rule of leave no trace. It's not that hard, you know, just don't litter, leave only footprints, take only pictures, and just leave it the way you found it.
Completely.
That's it. The hydrothermal features in Bumpass Hell and here in Warner Valley are awesome, but they're dwarfed by the challenge we're taking on next, climbing the active volcano itself. Oh, I love volcanoes. I love volcanoes. It's our last day in Lassen Volcanic National Park in Northern California, and we're about to climb the still active volcano that this park is named for. That right there is Lassen Peak.
We're gonna be hiking up that thing today, and it's about 2.5 miles of brutal switchbacks, almost 2,000 feet up. It's kind of a perfect way to end our trip.
Oh, it's the only way to end the trip.
How could you not want to get to the top of the largest plug dome volcano in the world? You ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right, let's get up there.
A plug dome volcano is a rounded volcano that forms when super thick lava plugs or congests the main vent. This traps the lava inside, and the pressure causes the volcano to expand. Lassen is still considered an active volcano, even though it hasn't erupted for about 100 years.
Still, of all the volcanoes in the Cascade Range, it is the most likely to blow sometime in the next century.
It's always kind of weird to think that you're hiking on an active volcano, but the beauty of today is that we've got instruments that monitor the seismic activity here. Right now we can be sure that this baby's not gonna erupt while we're hiking up her today.
I'd guess we've climbed at least 1,000 feet in elevation, with another 1,000 to go. Okay, so I'm not 100% sure, but that's gotta be
our summit right up there. That's not that bad. Look at it, we've already made tons of progress. Look at that.
As we're catching our breath, a couple of veteran hikers catch up to us.
Hey, how's it going? Have you gone up Lassen Peak before?
I have. When I was about 12, so that would make it about 64 years ago. I had an uncle. Uncle was a physician, and he would stop us every switchback, and he would sit there and he would take our pulse. Like this was a medical issue. Years later, it dawned on me that that was his excuse to stop and rest.
Oh. You know, for me, what my usual trick is, it's like, oh, I got to get a picture of this. That's usually my excuse to stop.
Yeah. Well, let's not stop too long. We may seize up here.
All right, we'll see you guys up there.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's great. It's been over 60 years, and he's back going up Lassen Peak.
Lassen is one of the few places on the planet where you can see every type of volcano there is.
Oh, hey, check this out. Okay, you see all these mounds out there? Yeah, look at the one straight ahead of us. I think that's a cinder cone.
Cinder cones are formed when lava erupts from a small vent and falls down to form a cone-shaped peak.
Oh yeah, I see that. Hiking on a lava dome looking at cinder cones? Huh? That's awesome. We're only about a half a mile from the summit, and man, are we getting high up. I'm looking down to the parking lot, and it just looks tiny from up here.
When we reach the summit, we'll have climbed to 10,400 feet.
Woo! It is windy up here. I can't imagine what it's gonna be like at the summit.
It's cold up here too. Even though it's late summer, there's still snow on the ground.
It's about to get epic. Oh, whoa!
The views in every direction are absolutely incredible, but what is so cool is finally being able to look at the top of this massive lava dome. You can see where all these little eruptions of lava tried to push through the crust. That middle is just kind of compact with all these sharp lava rocks all around it. It's like a bunch of little volcanoes inside the crater of the big volcano.
Oh, I love volcanoes. I love volcanoes. So we are close, but we are not at the summit yet. Let's get up there.
We're making the final scramble up to the top of Lassen Peak, the largest plug dome volcano in the world.
And we are at...
Not yet, not yet.
Not yet. We are at the summit! Whoa! Yeah! All right, it's a jagged peak up here.
Well, it's a volcano. What do you expect?
I don't know. This is some tall stuff.
Wow.
Not only does the view take your breath away, but so does the elevation.
Yeah.
Oh, it's chilly too. Woo!
We're at 10,463 feet in elevation, looking north over the Cascades and south over the Sacramento Valley.
There's something about standing on the peak of a mountain that is just so incredibly empowering.
And when that mountain is a volcano, from the top, you get to see some of that volcanic activity that you didn't get to see from the bottom. You can see the devastated area, they call it, where lava just flowed through the forest, and it's completely different than anything we've seen yet.
Because on that side, you've got a little bit of the rockiness, but there's more of the forest. But over here, man, the rugged lava rock just seems to go on for miles.
I am just constantly surprised by some of these national parks, and Lassen has got to be right up at the top of, whoa, I didn't see that coming. For me, every day, every turn, every hike, it seemed like there was something that I wasn't expecting that surprised me.
I mean, geocaching was a blast. I never thought that something like a carabiner would motivate me so much.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Ah, yes!
I have to say, when we got to Bumpus Hell, I was blown away. To think that they've got these mud pots and steam vents, and they're all focused right here in the park.
But also, the Boiling Springs Lake. Again, it was just one thing after another.
This is definitely one of the hidden gems of the National Park Service, and I bet it's gonna become a new hangout for us when we're in California.
Oh, is this beautiful?
So awesome.
And remember,
Hey, if we can do it, so can you.
So the next chance you get, go out and rock the park.